started watching one of Professor Anton's videos, one of your videos, Corey. It was the one about, oh God, I can't remember the title. It might have been the technical thing, it might have been something else, but it was about William Lane Craig and Peter Atkin and their discussion. I haven't watched the whole of that video yet of yours there, Corey. I got as far as go and watch the other two videos, and then which I did, but I haven't had the opportunity to get back yet and watch the others, but I will. Oh, actually, let me just show you this view first, because it is absolutely gorgeous where I am right now. This is a place called Trelisic. It's a piece of National Trust property in Cornwall. It's about half an hour from where I live, so I drive the dogs down here. Look at that estuary, the Fal River estuary. It's gorgeous. Anyway, back to William Lane Craig. So I watched that and I thought that was pretty interesting. He's a funny chap, William Lane Craig, because he's clearly not stupid, or not completely stupid, and seems to be quite educated and knows his stuff. But he, I don't know, it's just very frustrating. I mean, the reason why I think he's not that stupid is because the questions he asks are good questions. You know, I mean, the philosophical engagement he has. Actually, no, it's not engagement, that's not the right word. But certainly, yeah, the philosophical questions he launches are completely appropriate, it seems to me. And most of them are old questions, ones that's been around for a long time and have got a good kind of heritage in terms of being generative questions. I can't think of any of them now. I should have some of those questions on the tip of my tongue, but I haven't, unfortunately. But, you know, there's things he says, you know, in that video that the questions he asks. So to do things like, you know, where's logic come from? Or, it's not quite that, but that kind of... BB, guy, come on! Sorry. Come on, pup. Come on, guy. He's being alright. Anyway, those kind of questions, you know, they're all fine, really. The difficulty with Lane Craig, it seems to me, is, of course, that he answers them, you know. He answers them. And I think there's several problems with that. I mean, firstly, it's the answer that he gives, because the answer is always God. You know, the answer is always God did it. No, it's not quite as crude as that, but the answer basically is God. That's it. Which is interesting in and of itself, I think. Because it seems to me what he's doing there, and he's not alone in this, is that he's deifying the whole concept of what an answer is, you know. The idea of answer puts on a face in William Lane Craig and turns into a deity. Which is a bit odd, really. God is the answer. Just that's it. The answer God. So that's a bit of a problem. But also the idea of an answer is a bit of a problem, I think, because those kinds of questions, philosophical questions, many of them aren't really about answers, are they? You know what I mean? I mean, I did read somewhere. I can't remember who said it, but this person said that it was distinguishing a good question in science from a good question in philosophy. It was saying a good question in science is one that delivers you, I can't remember the phrase he used, but it was something like delivers you right up to the doorway of the answer, that kind of thing. The idea is that the question in science, you know, you construct a hypothesis, and if you get a really great hypothesis, if you've really worked hard and you get your hypothesis perfectly formed, it naturally leads you to what kind of an experiment you would need to, you know, to demonstrate that hypothesis, the truth or falsity of that hypothesis. You know, what experiment you just comes natural. The experiment is really easy to perform and produces really clear results. So, you know, 99% of the work has been done by the question, by the hypothesis. And you do occasionally get that in science. But the distinction this person makes is that you don't get that in philosophy, and that's not the point. The point of a good philosophy question is that it can never be answered. The better the question, the longer it takes, the longer it keeps the engagement going, because that's what it's about. It's about keeping the engagement going. And of course, the big questions in philosophy have been around for thousands of years, you know, and we're nowhere near answering them, because that's again not the point. And the same is true of some of those koans. You know, that kind of question that keeps cropping up in these comment sections a bit lately about, you know, does a tree make a sound in the forest when it falls with no ear to hear it? I mean, that's in a sense that's a similar kind of thing, isn't it? You know, you can't just say yes or no. It's pointless. It's not that kind of a question. The point is that question opens out and generates lots of other discussion. So in order to be able to even think about that question, you have to have access to thought and knowledge to do with what a person is, what perception is, what sense is, what consciousness is, what objects are, what the separation is potentially between objects and subjects, what intersubjectivity, you name it. The whole, all other knowledge is kind of opened out onto by that question, and that's the function of it. It's a doorway into a whole sea of information and ideas, and you can't just kind of close the doorway by just saying, yes, the tree makes a sound, no, the tree doesn't make a sound. Yeah, so that's another thing I think that William Lane Craig is, well, I don't think he's wrong about it. I think he's coming at it, I think, from a different, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest, I don't know what he's doing, but offering those philosophical questions as opportunities that can be short-circuited by having an answer that's really just a deification of the concept of what an answer is, seems doubly baffling to me. I don't know, I'm sure it's comforting and probably feels true to him, I'm sure he feels he's being accurate and honest when he says it, at least I assume so. He seems to be thinking that. Because if he was playing an intellectual game, I think he'd be able to play it better. I suppose that's why I'm saying that. Because it's not hard to play better intellectual games than the game he plays. So he must be, at least to a certain extent, believing what he says. He's being honest, I think. And his honesty is leading him to believe in the God of answers and the termination of questions before they open out into the world of inquiry that lies beyond, really. Shame, in a way. Anyhow, back to the Foul River estuary. Look at that, the sun is going down like a big bald head.